Having served in the Marine Corps, the one thing that I was always very proud of was the fact that we used to pride ourselves as Marines. You know, you're not a black Marine, you're not a Hispanic Marine, you're not a white Marine. We're all green. That was sort of our motto in boot camp and beyond. And quite frankly, during my tenure, I didn't experience a whole lot of racism. I did experience some biasness. And I think that's the issue here. Some people feel that you have to be racist, which not all are, to have biases. And those biases permeate our institutions. My good friend, Representative Bergman, who I respect very much, Brigadier General, and I respect Mr. Bergman very much, but I'm going to ask him a question. And I think I'll get a straight answer because that's how much respect I have from him. Whether we call it racism or not, there's a whole lot of biases that come with where we come from, how we're raised and what have you. You don't have to be racist to have those biases, but they permeate, and the outcome, it could be perceived by many as just outright racism. Mr. Bergman, is there not biases, natural biases that we've seen at all levels of ranks in our beloved Marine Corps? I yield to you.
Are you yielding to me?
Yes, sir.
Well, first of all, Salud, Marines are never known for their math. So while I am a nod duck, the number was 3, not 1, as far as the stars, just so you know. Okay. But, you know, in a very serious vein, because Salud and I can have this conversation even without adult beverages. And the point is, I'd like to use your term bias. What kind of car do you drive?
A good one.
No, model, manufacturer.
Honda.
Honda.
Civic.
Okay. I drive a Ford. Now you have a bias for a Honda. I have a bias for a Ford. But that's normal. That's normal. But when I say to you, you're stupid for buying a Honda, you should only buy Fords, then that verges on prejudice. And what we're talking about here is prejudice, because we all have biases. Let's face it. A long time ago, when I was hauling the
Mr.
grunts
Bergman,
around.
can I claim
wait,
my
hold
time
on.
back?
No, just I'll finish up right here.
Okay.
I'll finish up. Is that we had a mutual, as a 46 pilot in Vietnam, we had a mutual admiration society with the grunts. We thought they were crazy for getting out of them, and they thought we were crazy for flying them. So I yield back.
Thank you. That was somewhat of an answer, but so let me get to the point. We all have biases that permeate and end up having certain outcomes. And whether it's in promotions or what have you, that's what we're talking about here. Dealing with some of those biases head on and why we have those biases. I think at the root of and the heart of the matter, that's what we're talking about. And, you know, there's some people that were born on third base and they think they hit a triple. And they carry that bias with them that, hey, everybody else should have hit a triple, but they were born on third base. And again, when it comes to promotions, we see the higher echelons of our military not represent the rest of our country. Some people will say, hey, well, they're not qualified. Others will say, well, I think you could look at some of those biases. And whether you call it racism or biases, that's really what we're talking about here. You could define it however you want, but the end result is that somebody is injured in that process. Mr. Chair, I yield back.